Guys, just like that, I'm back with another Portable Clint. Guys, I got a guy here. He is a part of the Hollywood the Hollywood system of the 80s, 90s, 1000s, and 2000s. And I've seen this guy in rooms all the time. We've talked a lot. Ladies and gentlemen, Ricky Dean Logan.
What's up, guys?
Look at this guy.
Good to see you.
Look at you. Come here. Look at this.
That's my boy Clint.
Look.
I've known this man for a super long time. We used to read in rooms together all the time.
Yeah, true.
We have stomped Hollywood together for almost 30 years now.
That is true.
Yeah.
That is very true.
Yeah.
Okay, speaking of 30 years, Ricky, before we get going, everything good in your world?
Everything is wonderful in my world.
Okay, hold off. Here we go.
Here we go.
When did you come out to Hollywood?
I got in Hollywood in 1984, 85.
Okay, you beat me by 2 years because I got here in 87.
Wow, okay.
So you were, so where did you come from?
I came via Hawaii. It's kind of a long story.
Really?
I'm a Northern California boy, born and raised in Oakland, California, San Francisco Bay Area boy. I'm a Bay Area boy.
Okay.
And I came here via Hawaii by an accident. I could only get to Los Angeles. I couldn't get back to San Francisco. So I ended here with nothing. I had nothing, not a dime, not a penny. I was living in a friend's.
Is that friend still around?
Closet.
Okay. We'll talk about that later.
Okay.
Did you come out here because you got stuck out here, or did you come out here because you wanted to come out here?
I came out here because I got stuck out here.
Really?
I was in Hawaii. I was there. I'll make it really short. I used to be a pastry chef.
Okay.
When I was 17, I was at the #1 hotel in the world, the St. Francis Hotel in San Francisco. And I worked under a German pastry chef who was the #1 pastry chef in the world at that time. And I got a job working with him, and then I got offered a sponsorship in Hawaii at the Sheraton Hotel by another German chef.
Okay.
We had only corresponded over the phone. He'd never seen me or we'd never worked together. So I packed up everything, went to Hawaii.
Okay.
Spent all my money getting a place, so I was broke. Went to the first job when I was supposed to be there the first day on a Monday. And this German chef took one look at me. I had long hair. I was still doing, music, rocking. I had earrings.
Sure.
I looked like Bon Jovi.
Okay.
I was like freaking a rock star. This guy took one look at me and he said, "Oh, I'm so sorry that the position was canceled and blah blah blah." So there I was stuck in Hawaii with nowhere to go. So my girlfriend at the time and I entered the lip sync contest, and I did Rick Springfield, Jesse's Girl. I won first place.
Nice.
$275. And
Look
it
at you.
wasn't enough to get me a ticket back to Los Angeles, but it did get me to LA. And we had met a couple of girls there.
Wait, it wasn't enough to get. Oh, to fly. I got you.
I
got you.
couldn't get back home, but I could
you.
get to LA. And we had met a couple girls there, and they said, "Listen, my dad's got a place. Come stay with us." And that's what I did.
Okay, so you get here. Tell me, when does the acting thing start rocking in your head?
The acting thing came by accident. I was living at a place right above the Coconut Teaser, which is on Sunset. If you guys ever go there, you'll see it. It's not that anymore. It used to be a rock place. And there was a very beautiful mansion behind there, and my buddy's parents owned it. So I was living there. I'm a musician, so I was playing piano, and a knock came on the door, and it was a director from UCLA who wanted to use the outside of the building to shoot.
I love stuff like
and
this. Okay.
I said, "Well, it's not my house." And he said, "Well, who was playing the piano?" I said, "I was." He goes, "Look, I'm doing this thesis film, and it's about a brother and sister fighting over inheritance. He's a songwriter, piano player."
Sure.
He goes, "Would you be interested in doing the lead?"
Bam.
That was it.
The
And
knock
I
at the
said,
door.
I was like, yeah. I had no idea what it was. So I did this film. They showed it at UCLA at the graduating, and a very famous casting director who Joanna Ray,
Sure.
was at the screening. She pulled me aside. She says, "Listen, you're the best thing in this whole goddamn crap I've been watching. Who's your agent?" English girl.
Wow,
Bad English accent,
yeah.
sorry.
That's good.
And I said, I don't know. And she says, "You don't know." And I said, "No, what's an agent?" She goes, "So you've never done this before?" I said, "No, it's my first time ever being on film." She says, "Well, you're the best thing in it. Let me take you." She got me an agent. She got me a manager. I went in for the first thing that she had me read for, which is a film called Nightbreaker with Martin Sheen, Emilio Estevez, Leah Thompson, Martin's dad. Emilio Estevez directed it. Martin's dad was in it. I mean, Emilio's dad. Martin
Yeah.
And that was it. I booked that, and then I started booking everything nonstop.
Okay, hang on. Hold on. You can't just say that, then we're done.
No, I'm not done.
No. When you worked with, did you work with Leah Thompson on that film, or was she just happened to be in the film?
No, I worked with Leah Thompson on that film.
So did you guys gather a little friendship there, or was it just like, okay?
It's like every set. You know how it is.
Yeah.
It's funny because when we're on sets like that and we're working and we're doing 3 weeks and we're doing 4 weeks, it becomes like a family.
Sure.
You become family with everybody, and then you say, oh, we're going to stay in touch, and we're going to, and it just somehow, as you know, it just never really works out like that. There are some actors that I've worked with, like you, that I stay in touch with. Darlene Vogel, who played one of my bad guys in the film, she's still one of my best friends.
Awesome.
Jason Scott Lee is a good friend of mine still. But yeah, no, Leah Thompson and I we worked and we left.
Okay.
And then I got back to the future.
Oh, hold on.
I got you. You got me
So,
talking now.
I
You got
know,
me double
I know.
espresso, I'm in trouble.
Here we go. So you get an audition. How were you getting your auditions at the time?
I was getting my auditions because Joanna Ray hooked me up with a
No, I know that, but I'm saying, did you get a phone call saying that you have an audition? How did you get them at that time?
Yeah. She hooked me up with a really cool company called Ambrosia Mortimer.
Okay.
I don't know if you remember who they were.
I do.
And I had a very cool agent, Nancy Green,
Okay.
who now is a manager and a casting director now.
Nice.
I went into the meeting to meet with them, and she took me immediately, and she was the one who started sending me out. And Joanna gave me my first audition because she brought me in for that film.
Okay, so you get an audition one day for Back to the Future 2.
Correct.
Did you see Back to the Future 1?
No.
You never saw? You had no idea.
I knew who Michael J. Fox was.
Okay.
I was a huge Michael J. Fox fan because I thought he was I just thought he was a genius in comedy,
Sure.
which I love to do. And I was watching, of course, his television series.
Yeah.
And so I was excited about that, but I had no idea what Back to the Future was. No.
Tell me about your audition. What? Tell me about the audition. Tell me about the sides. Tell me about everything. What was the character called
The auditions they didn't tell us what it was. It was Amblin, it was Spielberg, it was they just said you were reading for this part. They gave me the sides to data, and I ended up going to 7 auditions.
7 auditions.
I got called back 7 times, and what they were doing is they were trying to put the team together. They were trying to mix and match all of us. And I remember specifically the last audition, the 7th time they brought me in. I remember telling my agent, man, I don't. How many times you've seen my audition how many times? I can't do it any more ways than I did it. And I happened to have the flu that day. And I remember going to Amblin, I remember going through the read again, and for some reason...
Are these always the same people you're reading in front of, or is it different people each time, like Spielberg this time? Was Spielberg ever in the room?
No, nobody. Robert Zemeckis wasn't in the room. This was for the casting director every single time.
Oh, wow, okay.
So the last time I went in, I met Darlene and Jason. They were both there. I was sick as a dog. I remember finishing
Wait, Darlene and Jason, act like I don't know who they are. Who's Darlene and Jason?
Darlene Vogel played Spike in Back to the Future. They were the hoverboard gang. With myself, Tom Wilson, great guy, and then Jason Scott Lee.
Okay.
And Jason Scott Lee ended up playing Bruce Lee, unbelievable, Map of the Human Heart. He's just an amazing guy and an amazing actor. And so they brought me back for that 7th time. I had the flu. And you gotta remember this time I'm not a seasoned actor. I don't know how you really go into a room and behave. There's a certain way that I learned that afterwards, but I was me.
Sure.
So I got done with
which is great to be you, because that's what Hollywood wants.
Correct.
Hollywood hates it when you change it up, because they just say this is a waste of time.
So I got done with the scene, and I don't know why I did it, but I remember I looked in the camera and I said, "Look at Zemeckis, either hire me or leave me alone." And I walked out of the room.
Really?
I was leaving Amblin in my car, going out the back lot to get out, and I got a phone call. And it was Robert Zemeckis.
Really?
Ricky, it's Robert Zemeckis. I'm like, yeah, and he goes, "Get back here, I want to talk to you."
Oh, wow.
I turned the car around.
Okay.
They brought
Are you still on the Universal lot?
I'm still on the Universal lot. I turn the car around, I go back to Amblin, I get in, and this is the first time I meet Robert Zemeckis. Robert Zemeckis is in this huge room, he's sitting there. He says, "So I got your message." I said, "Look, I'm sorry, man." I said, he says, "Look," goes, "Are you afraid of flying?" I said, "No, the only thing I'm afraid of is not getting this job. I'll fly whatever you want." And what he was talking about was flying on the hoverboard.
Sure.
But I didn't know that at the time. And he looked at me and says, "Okay, you're hired." And that's how that went. I mean, it's one of those stories, man. And then I just kept working nonstop. Seinfeld.
Wait, well, hold on. We're going to get to all that.
We're
going to get to all that.
Well, this is going to be a very long...
Yeah, no, it's not. We're going to get this really fast and quick. But here's the deal. Don't you feel like that Hollywood wants to like put you through the ringer, make you almost want to quit the whole thing in order to get the job?
Well, here's what I tell people. Here's what I tell other actors that talk to me. This job is all about perseverance. If you don't have perseverance and you can't get knocked down and get back up, because that's what Hollywood wants to see.
Yeah.
Because once you do get to the position that we're in, it's work.
Yeah.
You know, you're working. It's a tough job. You're working. I know a lot of people say, oh, you know, I want to be an actor. Anybody can be an actor. Well, you know what? Good for you. I hope it works out for you. It's like singing. Everybody wants to sing, but you're either born with the voice or you're not.
Sure.
You can either sing in key or you can't. It's pretty simple. Well, now it's easy because you can put stuff all over it now.
Exactly.
But yeah, I think it's a thing of perseverance.
Okay, so you book it, and
Yep.
then how long do you work?
We ended up working almost 13 weeks.
13
and
weeks.
13 weeks is because we ended up doing Back to the Future 2 and 3 back to back. Back to the Future 2, you got to remember when Zemeckis was doing this film, in order to get Michael on the same thing, that double exposure where you see Michael as Michael and Michael
Yes.
as his son, they had invented this brand new camera.
Wow.
So they were trying to get the bugs out of that. So it took hours and hours and hours, 16-hour days on the set, flying the hoverboards to get those right, to make sure that the wires that were holding us to the board were so thin that they weren't able to see the wires. There was a lot of innovative stuff in that movie that you still look at today and you go, it's relevant. The movie's still relevant when you watch it today. You look at it and go, man, this could have been done yesterday.
I just watched. I interviewed Tom.
I love Tom.
Tom Wilson is. I cannot. I just go on and on about how awesome he is.
He's a great guy. Yeah.
But after I interviewed him, I went home and showed my kids. We sat through all three of them again, and it's just a special movie that can never be reduplicated.
It's an iconic franchise. I was just in France at a Back to the Future DeLorean experience show, and it's unbelievable. I mean, even the French supporters. I don't use the word fans. It's just not something I like. I use the word supporters because to me, people support my work. That's why I get to do what I do. So I really dig all my supporters and try to be there, for them. So
okay, and you do, because I see it. I see that. When he told you booked, did he tell you right then and there you just booked part 2 and 3? Did you know this?
No. Part 3 happened during part 2.
I know, but I'm saying.
No,
yeah.
I'll tell you how this happened.
Okay, go ahead.
If the fans get this, Robert Zemeckis was the first person to put an egg, like in video games, where you search for the egg.
Sure, yeah.
Robert came to me and he said, listen, I'm going to put one bad guy from each film in the back of the truck at the end of 3.
I just found this out the other day.
Right, and so he picked me out of all that, for Back to the Future 2, he picked me as the bad guy to be in 3. So if you look at the truck, you'll notice that I'm not really playing data, I'm just playing kind of me.
And part 3 at the
very
very
end, when we go and he says, what are you, chicken? And we race him out of the thing. That was all done. I shot with Flea and everybody in Ojai. We shot that in Ojai, which was great. So that's how that came out.
Okay, so when part 2 came out, no one knew you at this time, right?
Not really, no.
So what was that like on the streets when you were walking the streets?
Oh man, that movie changed my life. I mean, the whole franchise did. Once it came out, and because the hoverboard scenes are so iconic, I was stopped everywhere. That's when I kind of really felt like, wow, it's like when you go out to have fun and whatever, and then paparazzi's there calling your name. That's when you kind of go, oh shoot,
Yeah.
This is really happening.
Yeah.
This is crazy. And I tell everybody, I'm still in shock. Even when I sign an autograph today, I'm still kind of like, oh, you want my autograph? Okay, cool. I'll always tell people, yeah, as long as you take a picture with me.
Oh, that's
and
nice.
They always
that makes
crack
them feel
up.
great.
Yeah, they always crack up, and but I'm grateful. I mean, this is what I get to do
Right,
for a
that's
living
beautiful.
this time around in my life, and I'm grateful for it.
Ricky, I always like to only focus on the positive.
Me too.
But there's a situation, and I just want to spend 1 minute on it. Okay?
Yep.
The incident on part 2 with the stunt woman.
Yep.
Were you there on the set when
Absolutely.
this happened?
Cheryl Wheeler is still a good friend of mine.
Can you just, like I said, I don't want to make this. It's a tough thing, so we just kind of just roll it up in a nutshell, please.
Listen, here's the deal. When we're making movies and we're doing stunts and we're doing the things that we're doing, it's a dangerous business. It's not something that's done. That accident could have been prevented. I was good friends with the stunt people because a good friend of mine would do all of my stunts who did just a bunch of stuff. And so I was talking with him, and we were talking about the stunt. And basically what was happening is as we go across the pond, they're supposed to go up and break through the candy glass of the tower. So what's supposed to happen is all the stunt people are supposed to get through the tower, and then the stunt guys blow a cable which releases them from the hoverboards on the mats inside the building. Well, the stunt, Gary Morgan, who did most of my stunts through a lot of my films, and I got him on Back to the Future with me. We were discussing it, everybody. He was trying to tell them, listen, if you have the guy who's blowing the cable inside, how's he going to see who's in with the glass coming down, us coming down, everything coming down? Well, the stunt coordinator at the time, which I'm not going to mention any names,
please don't.
seemed to know better what was happening. So what happened, unfortunately, was they came across, we're on a big crane, they come across, Biff, the guy who was playing the stuntman for Biff, he hit his head on the steps by the pond. What that did is it threw the apparatus sideways, which knocked Cheryl into the big pillar. And if you watch it, you can see it. She hits the pillar.
I feel like I do see that.
So she hits the pillar. When she hits the pillar, it throws the other 3 stunt guys through the glass. And exactly what happened, what Gary said was going to happen, they blew the cable. She was still outside. So she fell 3 stories to the cement, hooked to a board. And it was awful. And she was still doing surgeries 5, 6, 7 years after.
Really?
And it has nothing to do with Zemeckis, it has nothing to do with Bob Gale or any of the crew. They were always there for us. They were always really careful about stunts, and even us flying around all the time, really careful. It was just an unfortunate thing that happened. That could it have been prevented? Yes. Was it? No.
Okay, all right. Anyway, I just wanted to address that because it is part of the thing.
Yeah, look at it. You'll see it. You'll see her hit the pillar, and then you know.
Okay.
And we never shot it again. So what you see is what you see. It was shot the one time, and that was it.
What was it like afterwards on that? Did you guys take a couple days off, or was it business? I mean, unfortunately, the show goes on. So tell me about that.
When accidents like that happen on a set, they're automatically closed down. So we were closed down for 2 days while they figured out what happened and how and whatever. They have to do that by, I don't know if it's OSHA that does that, the safety people. But no, they closed it down. We were all, we were really upset. Robert was upset. The entire crew was upset. We never want to see anybody hurt on a film. And
or in life.
Or in life, period.
Yeah.
But it does happen. And I do remember seeing Cheryl on the ground, and her whole face was caved in. And I remember looking up going, did we get the shot? I can do it again. These are the kind of people that stunt people are. It's a whole breed, and they're just amazing at what they do, that they're willing to put their lives at risk, and that's what they do. They put their lives at risk for us.
Yeah.
And I appreciate it, and unfortunately it happens, and that's what it was. But it wasn't a universal thing. It wasn't anything to do with the cast and crew. But we did stop working, and we did give that moment to take a breath and gather ourselves.
Okay, so Back to the Future 2, 3 in the books, people stopping you on the streets, changed your whole life. It got you into many offices, right? Because they could say, hey, hire Ricky Dean Logan from Back to the Future 2 and 3, because you got to be known for something in this business to help you get into doors.
Yeah, I mean, as you know, the business has changed drastically in the last 10 years, I would say. It's just, back in the old days, your agent would send you in for a reading, and as long as you were prepared, and this is what I tell actors, go in prepared, man, when you're reading for something. Of
course. Have
your shit together, because there's 100 other guys that want to take the job.
Yeah.
And that's what I try to
Who went to sleep earlier than you, who didn't go out partying.
Who didn't go out partying,
yep.
And know their lines, and they come in with something fresh. I think I always book things because I was never really an actor.
Right.
I was just being me. Like, I turned down roles. People would, my agent, like, why? And I said, because I'm not getting this character, and I don't want to act this character. I believe, it's funny they call us actors, but what we're doing isn't really acting.
Right.
We're becoming these characters.
Yes.
I've seen your work. You do the same thing. This guy's freaking fantastic.
All right, Howard Katz,
at what
this
he
is
does.
about you.
But still,
thank you.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We give our all when we do it, because I want people to leave a theater or leave a TV show that I'm doing going, Oh, that's right. I forgot that was Ricky. Fuck.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Yeah, no,
I
you're
just
good.
cussed.
You're good.
But that I moved them, or I touched them, or they felt something, or it's like that's why I love going out. Well, let's finish talking about, it, and then we'll talk about all this.
Well, yeah, okay. So after that, what's the next big thing? I saw that you worked with James Earl Jones in some series.
Yeah. I did a couple things with James Earl Jones, who was a fantastic human being, by the way. I got to do Gabriel's Fire, which was a TV show that he did. So I did a couple episodes of that.
Did he talk to you like this a lot?
Yeah, it was Star Wars, bro. It was fucking Darth Vader, basically. That's all I kept thinking. It's like, I'm working with Darth Vader. Because I was a Star Wars fan, too. And then I did a mini-series for the BBC with James Earl Jones. And I played like a David Koresh. I was a cult leader.
Okay.
And he played a deprogrammer. And so there was a girl that got into our cult. Her family hired James Earl Jones to come get her out of the cult. And it's a very cool miniseries for the BBC, which I enjoy doing. But yeah, he's a great guy. I love
Okay,
James Earl Jones.
so then moving on, let's not talk about Freddy Krueger yet.
Okay.
But when do you book? You booked 2 Seinfelds.
I booked 2 Seinfelds. Yeah,
And they're different. And they're different guys, different characters.
It's
Explain
the
this.
same guy. It's funny. You're talking about auditions, right? I'm telling you, I was green to an audition.
Yeah.
Well, when I went in for Seinfeld, I read the guy. He has a big Bowie knife. He's fucking cutting people, right? So I don't know that it's not okay to bring real items into a reading.
Especially weapons.
So at this point, I'm going straight to producers for everything. I'm past.
And this is all because Back to the Future.
This is all. Well, this is Back to the
But
Future.
because you bring
It's because I bring it.
Yes.
And as you know, once you meet one casting director, those casting directors cast everything. So when you get in their good graces and they see that you can do a job, I never have to go to the first reading anymore. I go straight to producers.
Right.
So they brought me straight into producers for Seinfeld.
Nice.
I go into the room. I'm on the back lot. Everybody's in there.
And when you go into the room, guys, to TV shows like the good old days, we're talking the whole
Everybody was there. Larry, David. There was 20 people in the room.
Was Jerry in there?
Tiny little room. Jerry?
I don't feel like he was.
I don't think Jerry was in there. No. But Larry David was,
Sure.
and all the producers. And it's a tiny room. It's not
Yeah,
a big
it's
room,
always
right?
a
They're
tiny
all on
room,
little
yes.
tiny seats. And so I get in, I'm doing the scene, and I'm like, hey Kramer, dude, you ever kill a man? And I, hey, well, if that ogre did that crap to me. And I pull out this fucking knife, dude, that was this long. The entire room went. They were scared shit.
I bet they were,
And I'm
man.
waving this fucking Bowie knife around. I get done. I leave the room. The cash director comes out and she says, "Fucking Ricky, man, if you ever bring a prop into a reading again, I don't know what I'm gonna do. You booked this thing, but don't ever do that again." And that's how I
Wow.
booked Seinfeld.
What do you think it was? Do you think it was a double-edged sword? No pun intended.
I
The
think so.
fact that you brought it and the fact that you scared them.
I think that they felt it and knew the audience was going to feel the same thing when they saw me.
Yes.
Did I learn not to bring props into a room anymore? Yeah. But as an actor, I'm so not that mime guy. Oh, okay, stand up. Hey,
Right,
well,
right,
hello.
Yeah.
I want to be real when I go into a room.
Sure.
And so but I never brought a knife into a room again. I never brought a gun, which I could have brought plenty because I played a lot of bad guys, unfortunately. So I learned it. And it was just that for me, I learned this business in the business. I was on the job training for me.
The same here.
I never went to school.
Here.
I've never taken an acting class.
Same here.
Joanna Ray told me not to. I asked her, should I take classes? She says, no. You're going to destroy what you have.
Sure.
What you have is real, and that's what they like, and so that's how it happened. And I just went in and booked everything that I read for.
Okay, so you did one episode of Seinfeld. When did they bring you back? How did you get the phone call? What did you?
Well, because it was a double episode. So my my first episode was called the Keys episode, and that's when Kramer had Jerry's keys. Everybody had keys to each other's apartment. But Kramer, every time Jerry came home, Kramer was either in his bathtub or he was sitting having breakfast at the table. And so Jerry got upset and he said, "Give me the keys back." And that upset Kramer. And then Kramer decided at the end of the show, he was going to go to Los Angeles and become a movie star or be on the Murphy Brown show, basically.
Right.
So they called me. I did the whole hippie thing in the van. That's him traveling. So then they said, "Look, we want you to come to the season opener." That was the season closer for season 5, whatever it was. And they said, So now Kramer is in Hollywood and he's on the Murphy Brown show, and he gets accused of murdering somebody, and they bring me in as a witness. They said, well, what do you say? I said, all I said is, hey, Kramer, dude, have you ever killed a man before? You know. And I had cut my hair, if you notice. It's a different scene where my hair's cut. I don't look like the hippie anymore.
Right.
It's because I had been in jail or whatever, so they worked it that way. But yeah, I did 2 episodes, and it was another incredible show. And one of my favorite roles that I've done that I get stopped for all the time. And you know, I've just been so lucky and had so much fun, you know.
Okay, yeah, you have. You know why Seinfeld's such a hit? Because whenever you just describe an episode, it's just as entertaining as watching it.
I think so.
I mean, seriously.
I agree. I'm with you on that.
Okay, so we do Seinfeld. You
Yes.
do Seinfeld. You did 2 episodes. When does Freddy Cougar come about?
We did that, I want to say, 1990. And I'll tell you how I know that. Because I married my wife, who I've been married to for 29 years.
Awesome.
In 1990, during that film.
She's an audience member over there?
She is. She's over here sitting.
Yeah.
She's always with me.
With your French coffee?
With my French coffee waiting for me. So, yeah, Nightmare on Elm Street. If you want, are we going to talk
Yeah,
about that audition
let's
too?
go in. Let's pull
let's
over.
talk about that audition too, because there's Ricky doing what he does again. They brought me in to play the lead.
Okay.
They wanted me to play John Doe, who is the lead in my movie. I get home.
John Doe from the band X?
No, John Doe is just
a John Doe.
It's just John Doe is the
Okay.
name of the character in
I
the
got
film.
you.
It's the lead guy.
Okay.
Those of you Fred heads know what I'm talking about.
Okay.
So I know I'm
Is that
coming
what
in-
they're called, Fred heads?
Fred heads, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, it's
I
a
dig
great. They're the most amazing supporters on the planet. My horror supporters, amazing. I love all of you guys, by the way. So anyway, I know I'm going in for the lead. They want me to do the lead. I read the script before I go in, and I read Carlos, and I see Carlos. I see the character Carlos, and I'm reading, and I just couldn't get him out of my head because I totally understood who he was. I got him. I didn't get John, whether he was the lead or not. I go to the audition. I get into the room again with all the producers. Aaron's there, everybody's there, and instead of reading, I go, listen, guys. I said, I know you want me to read for John. I read the script. I really want to play Carlos.
This was you at the audition?
At the audition, in the room. And they're like, we don't understand. What do you mean you want? I said, I really want to play Carlos. I read the script. I really feel closer to Carlos, and I'd like to read for him instead of John. And they were like, he's not the lead. And I'm like, yeah, I understand that. It's not what I'm here for. I'm here to work on what I feel like right for. So they said, fine, you want to read the role?
Did they start looking at each other like, what is this
they were
guy
looking
doing?
so like I was crazy.
Because this is something you don't do in the room.
You do not do that in the room, and you do not give up lead roles in film.
And you don't bring a knife.
And you don't bring a knife. Don't ever bring props to a reading.
All right.
So anyway, they said, Aaron goes, okay, fine. And he hands me the scene of Carlos being spanked by his mom, where she's putting the Q-tip in my ear. So
Because you have a hearing aid, right?
I have a hearing aid. I play a deaf kid. And so I start to do the scene, and I'm so into it, I get done. The whole room is kind of just looking at me, and Aaron goes, yeah, you're Carlos.
Nice,
Thank
just
you
like that.
Just like that. So
Okay.
I booked it just like that, by doing that. My
How
agent-
many readings did you do to book that?
That was my first week.
And
I went in
one
one
and
time
only?
for the film. Yeah, one time. I had one reading. I went straight to producers.
All right, awesome.
So that's how I booked that film. And I just, I wasn't seasoned enough to understand that you go in, you do your job, and you leave. Casting directors really don't want to sit and chat with you and talk with you. And I know that's kind of like you want to go in and go, hey, and be friendly. And they just really want you to come in and do your job and leave. Be prepared and do your job.
Yeah.
And then when you book the stuff, then you become more friends with them, and you can have, as you become familiar with them. But yeah, that's how I did a lot of my auditions. A lot of my auditions too were, I'm an ad-libber. I love writers and I love what they write, but I also feel like they give us the words to do, and sometimes writers get caught up in their thing, and it's not really what I think a character would say. So I do it. And Robert Zemeckis taught me this, because I remember doing Back to the Future, and I went up to him one time and I said, hey Robert, I said, I'm thinking about doing this. And he said, Ricky, because I'm going to give you a piece of advice and I want you to take it with you. I said, fine. He goes, never ask the director what you want. He goes, because I'm going to tell you no.
Wow,
He goes,
I could see
but
that,
if you just do it, and then I have it in the editing room, as a piece of clip, even if I go, oh yeah, do it again, but don't do that. I may look at it in the editing room and go, fuck, he did better than what I was telling him to do. And so I took that with me when I would go in and I would ad lib, even when I'm working with actors. You know, I want to make it real, so I come up with all of these great little things.
Now, listen, how great that is. Has that backfired on you? Because there's some writers who do not like you do not touch a word of mine.
I've been on a set and I've had a writer tell me exactly that. You didn't say the.
Yeah.
I'm like, wait a second. No, I did. And I literally had to just do word for word the way the writer wanted. And I learned early, those are the kind of people I don't want to work with, me personally. You know,
yeah, I hear
directors.
you.
I love directors that are actors because I just feel like a director that's an actor knows how to really get his performances from his actors because he's an actor. So it's a strange thing, but I just stay true to me. You either, you know, what you get from me is what you see is what you get, and I think that's just the way to be. And sometimes I lose roles for that, and sometimes I gain roles and they're great.
Okay, let me ask you this. So before we're going to start winding down here in a little bit. So let me ask you a couple questions real quick. Yeah. You did a Pizza Hut commercial that I always remember in my head.
Yeah.
Tell me about that. And I feel like it was a big one.
Wow.
I feel like, well, I don't know why that sticks in my head.
Well, you remember back in the day, you were either a commercial actor or you were a theatrical actor.
Right, exactly.
And they did not mix the two.
No.
You didn't do commercials and then do theater because casting directors who were theatrical casting directors wouldn't bring a commercial actor in.
Right, right.
So I never did them. I was offered tons of commercials and I said, no. Well, a friend of mine was producing these Pizza Hut commercials and he came to me and he said, listen, you're the only one that can do this. I really want you to do these spots. Come check it out. I said, okay, fine. And then it was at a time when now there were other bigger actors doing commercial spots. I thought, okay, fine, I'll do it. I didn't know.
How many spots did you do for
over
this?
150 of those.
150 Pizza Hut?
Pizza Hut spots.
Are you serious?
I mean, I played all the characters. They aged me to a 7-year-old guy. I played all the different characters.
What was the tagline? Tell me.
Bigfoot. Bigfoot Pizza. It was Bigfoot Pizza, man. That's what it was. And I did all these different things. Like I mean, I would go into the producer's office and they had the book with my name on it, and we would go over stuff together. And I mean, it was an amazing time.
Who was the friend who hooked you up with all this?
Yeah, I don't want to.
Okay. So listen, here's the deal. No names.
No names.
Okay. So you do that.
Yeah.
That's a big campaign for you. 150, dude. That's a lot.
Huge campaign.
That's
Super Bowl during the Super Bowl.
Yes.
And this is when you could make money doing a commercial. You can't do that anymore.
Right. Okay, so you do Hollywood. Hollywood hooks you up, dude. They hook you up with some iconic roles.
They show me a lot of love. Yeah.
So now you're you're still a great working actor, but you also do this other thing on the weekends. Tell me about what you do on the weekends.
Are you talking about the shows?
Yeah, tell me about the shows.
Well,
because that's becoming a thing.
Well, the comic cons, the horror cons, these shows where the supporters get a chance to actually meet us and sit down with us and talk with us. These shows have been going around for a long time, but they were always actors who were kind of done with their career, and this was someplace they went to make money and supplement their income, and they would go do these cons. So I was offered cons for 10 years. And it wasn't something I wanted to do. It wasn't something that I was always told, no, don't do them. When you're done working, you can go retire and do that stuff. Well, what happened was the con circuit got so big that now it was the stars doing it. These cons.
Right.
And so now I go out for both films. I go out to the horror cons for Freddys Dead. Robert Englund announced me as his favorite kill.
Really?
Of the franchise, which
That's
is
great.
huge.
That is great.
Carlos is Robert's favorite kill.
Nice.
I am Freddy Krueger's favorite kill.
That's awesome.
I just got to see Robert last night. We were at a show for Mark Patton, who was also in Nightmare on Elm Street. You guys know what that is. But so I started doing these cons.
Wait, side street really quick. Any talk about them doing another one before? Because it seems like it's prime time to bring this back.
Well, they did do a Nightmare on Elm Street. They did the
But with him, with Robert Englund, not the guy from Bad News Bears.
From what I understand, who's a great actor, by the way.
I love that dude.
It's like replacing Santa Claus with the Easter Bunny.
Yes,
it's not gonna work.
Yes.
But Robert, saw him last night. He's always amazing, and I get to travel around the world with him, which is nice. But yeah, he's talked about it. I know they're talking about it, but it's kind of like Back to the Future. There will never be
and I don't want as much as I love it. I don't want it.
Well, Bob Gale he told me, make sure whenever you do interviews, let people know there will never be another Back to the Future.
Okay,
That's
good.
I was allowed to do the only Back to the Future short for the 30-year anniversary.
Really?
My buddy and I had a script. I sent it to Bob Gale. It was a fan film for the fans, and he read it. He said, "Oh my God, I love this." Yes. He got me on the back lot. We shot on the original back lot.
Awesome.
Michael's in it. Doc is in it.
Awesome.
Everybody's in it. You can check it out. It's called Back to the 2015 Future.
All right.
You can either go to my website, rickybeanlogan.com, to see it, or whatever. So it's got over 2 million views, and we have 10,000 subscribers as of 2 days ago, which has been great.
Okay, so these weekend things, sum that up for me really quick. Just sum it up. Great experience. You just I would love to do something like that.
It's an absolute amazing experience because I get to sit down and personally meet and thank my supporters for supporting me. They continue to support me. So yeah, these shows are amazing. I really enjoy doing them when I get a chance to do them because, as you know, I am still working. I've been directing.
Yeah, dude.
I just finished a film with Eric Roberts, Lifetime Channel, that came out last week. And
that's
so
awesome.
I just, yeah.
Yeah, dude, you're going to be working for a long time. You're a great character actor, dude.
man.
I'd hire
Thank
you in a heartbeat.
I appreciate
All right,
it.
listen. Here's a couple of questions I always like to ask. Worst day in Hollywood. You can either go worst day in Hollywood or worst time in Hollywood. And remember, this is nothing personal. This is business related.
My worst day in Hollywood was when I lost Sonny Bono. I was reading to play Sonny Bono for VH1. It was a killer movie. I read, went in. They hooked me up with the girl who ended up getting Cher, and her and I just killed it. I remember the casting director going, "Man, this is yours. You're going to get it." I had all the songs down because I'm a musician. I grew the mustache. I was Sonny Bono. Back in those days, there was something.
Have you ever gone to him as Halloween, as your Halloween? Okay, go ahead.
No, I was so crushed by that whole thing.
Okay, all right.
So we go in to meet, basically to get put on tape. It was myself, and it was I can't remember the actor who got the role, but he did Boy in a Bubble.
Okay, yes.
He was back in that day. They had something called TVQ, and TVQ was, had you done something else in TV that got good ratings and blah, 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 blah.
Sure, yeah.
So what they did is they ended up hiring this other guy because he had a higher TVQ rating than me. Even though he was taller than Cher, the movie didn't really make it because everybody was like, I was Sonny Bono.
I know.
Was the guy. You guys made a
yes.
huge mistake, and I'll
Yes.
say it. It doesn't matter. But that was a huge crush to me because I put so much into it, and to lose it for not my talent, but to lose it because of some silly. It's kind of like now what we have instead of TVQ is we have followers.
Okay.
And our business has turned into how many followers
Yes.
that we have. So any of my people out there, please follow me on
There you go,
Instagram.
follow
Not
him.
because it's because
help the Hollywood
now what
journey.
it does is it helps my journey. They're hiring people on whether you have talent or not. And if you want to help out where you want to see good stuff and not just have people who have no talent getting jobs and then you watch and go, why the hell was he in that? It's because he has followers.
Well, Ricky, but I'm hiring you because of your talent, because
Thank
you
you.
got
I
that. Okay,
appreciate that.
last question.
Yeah.
Best day in Hollywood or best time? This is the last question. Was it being was it being a part of something? Was it booking something? What was the time you go, wow, that was great. That was a great time.
You know what, man, Clint? I have to say everything because I look back on I look at my career and it's just amazing to me, like I told you before, that this is what I get to do for a living. So I was grateful for all of it. I was grateful that I was in the right place at the right time. I was grateful that I had, given talent to do what I do, which is something you're born with, not something that you learn. You can hone it and make it better, but like I said, you're born with. There's something in everybody that you're born to do, and you need to find that. Like I tell my kids, I have a beautiful 21-year-old daughter, my 13-year-old son, and I tell them, we all are going to have to work for a living. It's just the way it is. Do what you love. You want to get out of bed every day doing what you love. If you don't make any money doing it and you make just enough to survive, you're doing what you love. There's nothing worse than going to a job every day and hating every second of it.
That's true. And sometimes when a French chef looks at you and says the job's already filled, that you seem like that one would think that life is no good, but yet it's just another avenue for you to take advantage of it.
I mean, I was climbing over balconies to sleep in hotel rooms that were empty, so they wouldn't catch me because I had so much stuff going on. That script's coming. I'm writing. Actually, we're getting ready to put together a script about my journey, and so
okay.
Hopefully, people will get to see that once I get it finished. But yeah, your question is just everything. There's not one thing that stands out.
That's great.
To me.
That's great, Ricky.
Every audition I got, I loved being in every room I got to be in. All the casting people, working with people like Tom Wilson, who was amazing on the set.
Tom is, man.
And look, the fact that we're still doing this, after 30 years, is crazy to me. Especially the Back to the Future stuff, and I love it, and I love all the fans, and come see me at any shows. Hit me up on my webpage. I usually talk to most of my fans. And,
yeah, dude.
Try and keep
you're
it
on it. You're on it. You're
Thanks,
a positive light in this business, so
Thanks,
I appreciate you.
That. Yeah.
Ricky, one last thing. This is where you're going to look into the camera and you're going to tell everybody goodbye. Anything else you want to say before you say goodbye?
No, man. I just love what we do. I love this guy. I think this is a great show. You got to watch Clint Cope. You got to keep on this one and see what's happening. I really appreciate you guys out there. Keep an eye on my webpage. Keep an eye on my Instagram because I got a lot of stuff coming out. Just finished a film, like I said, with Eric Roberts called Stalked by My Doctor. Cool little show. It's on Lifetime, and you can watch it now. And keep it up. I got a lot of great stuff coming, man, and I appreciate you guys. I really do. Come see me so I can give you lots of hugs and kisses.
Say that word. Goodbye.
Goodbye.